Okay, for the second example of quadratic formula, for number 2, we have a 1 in front of that v squared. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to 10, and c is equal to negative 56. So if we use the formula, negative b plus or minus radical b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, then we're going to have a negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 10 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So then you take your calculator and you plug that in. And so 10 squared is 100 minus 4, and I wouldn't do times 1. You can if you want to, but times 1 is not going to change anything. Then times a negative 56, and you get the square root of 324. Take the square root of 324 on your calculator, and you get 18. So this becomes negative 10 plus and minus 18 all over 2, because 2 times 1 is 2. So we're going to get two answers. It's plus and minus, so we're going to start with plus. Negative 10 plus 18 is 8, and then divided by 2 gives us 4. That's our first answer. Negative 10 minus 18 is negative 28. Divided by 2 gives us negative 14. So I want to make sure I do one with a negative for the b. Okay, so here a is equal to 6. B is equal to negative 5, and C is equal to negative 21. So when you start the process, you start with negative B. B is already negative 5. So negative B in the formula, it's like the opposite of B. So we start with a positive 5. The opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Plus and minus, the square root. Then this is going to be 25. B squared is always positive. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So you will never have a negative number for that first thing there. So b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Take your calculator and type in 25 minus 4 times 6 times negative 21, and you get the square root of 529. Take the square root of 529 and you get 23. So 5 plus and minus 23 divided by 12. So we start with the plus. 5 plus 23 is 28 divided by 12 is 2 1/3. So you need to change that to a fraction, 7/3. And you can do that on your calculator by hitting second F to D. On your calculator, I think it's second PRB equals, and then second ABC equals. But you need to change that to a lowest terms fraction. You also can just divide both of those by 4. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Then 5 minus 23 is a negative 18 divided by 12. Gives you a negative 3/2 or a negative 1.5. You can say negative 1.5 on that because that decimal is exactly the same. So let's do another one where we have a negative for our b. And on this one, we also have a number off to the side. The formula only works if you start with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is the answer for x when this formula equals 0. So if it doesn't equal 0, you have to subtract it over and make it equal 0. So subtract 11 from both sides, and you get 2x squared minus 11x plus 14 equals 0. So when you go to do the formula, you have negative b, so positive 11, plus or minus radical b squared, because 11 squared is 121, minus 4ac all over 2a. Take your calculator, plug that in. 121 minus 4 times 2 times 14 is 9, so square root 9. 11 plus or minus 3, because the square root of 9 is 3, all over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. 11 plus 3 is 14, divided by 4 reduces to 7/2, or you could say 3.5. That would also be okay. 11 minus 3 is 8, divided by 4 is 2. So hopefully that helps you understand how to do these problems, and you will be able to finish your homework.